Welcome to Illuminati Silver. We tell you the truth about silver. Today is Wednesday, the 20th of October 2021. And we're producing our Wednesday morning gold and silver price update, forecast and daily news, as well as a weather outlook. Joking. This morning, we can see gold and silver continue to rise, even after a reasonable hike the day before. So let's take a look. Welcome to Illuminati Silver. It's Wednesday, the 20th of October 2021 at 10:23 a.m. GMT +1. The weather and sky today? Radiant. Yes, we have an almost clear sky with a few light, white, fluffy clouds with the sun rising on the horizon. It's radiant. And we wonder whether there's much radiance in the news today. Certainly there is as far as Bitcoin is concerned. Not so UK inflation. But some hope in that Prime Minister Johnson predicts difficult winter as COVID's deaths rise, which is not radiant. But he rules out another lockdown, even with those cases being on the rise. Now, a lot of business people may be happy about that. Business Secretary Kwasi Kwarteng said there won't be a fresh lockdown of the UK economy, even as COVID-19 cases tick upwards, and Prime Minister Boris Johnson warns of a difficult winter ahead. In a bullish round of interviews with UK broadcasters, Kwarteng said the government is monitoring coronavirus data by the hour, and pointed out that while case levels are high, hospitalizations and deaths are much lower than at the start of the year due to the country's successful vaccination program. He told LBC Radio, "I categorically rule out new lockdown measures. We've worked really hard to get to the point where we could actually open up the economy. We've got a fast-growing economy. People are getting back to work, getting back to normal life. Any talk of lockdowns is just not at all helpful. And it's not going to happen." Well, we shall see if that is the case, but certainly for the economy, that's positive news at least. However, what's not quite so positive, UK inflation remains above target ahead of Bank of England decision. UK consumer prices accelerated well beyond the Bank of England's target for a second month, propelled by the global disruption in supply chains that pushed up transport costs. Consumer prices rose 3.1% in September, after a 3.2% gain the month before. The Bank of England expect prices to climb above 4% by the end of the year, more than double the mandate. The data was the last before the central bank's decision on interest rates next month, when financial markets anticipate officials will lift borrowing costs for the first time since the pandemic struck. Bank of England Governor Andrew Bailey has said policymakers must act to contain an upward spiral in prices. So it does look as if interest rate rises are on the horizon, at least for the United Kingdom. Tapering for the US, but interest rate rises for us. Bitcoin futures ETF debuts as second highest traded fund ever. Bitcoin has hit its highest level ever, albeit momentarily. The first Bitcoin-linked exchange-traded fund listed in the US debuted as the second most heavily traded fund on record in a watershed moment for the crypto industry. The ProShares Bitcoin Strategy ETF, trading under the ticker BITO, rose about 4.9% to $41.94. More than 24 million shares changed hands Tuesday. Because of the way the fund settles trades, net flows into or out of the product probably won't be known until overnight on Wednesday. So, there we have it. Bitcoin making headlines again. And we'll have a look at the crypto market in a few minutes. Now, in yesterday's video, we mentioned about artificial intelligence and, more importantly, short-term robotics, and how Tesco has now set up its own almost staffless store. They still need them to stack the shelves for the moment, but certainly not for the cash payouts. And Reuters is saying CEOs and other managers are increasingly under the microscope as some investors use artificial intelligence to learn and analyze their language patterns and tone, opening up a new frontier of opportunities to slip up. So that's AI to undermine what CEOs have to say. Whatever next. Business news. Rising cost of living slows in September. So the UK inflation fell slightly to 3.1% in September, although transport costs rose. Increase in the cost of living as measured by the CPI fell to 3.1% in the year to September, down from 3.2% in August. Higher prices for transport were the biggest contributor to price rises. It comes after the Bank of England warned it will have to act over rising inflation, suggesting interest rates may rise soon. The inflation rate fell back slightly last month because prices in restaurants rose less this August than last August, when the Eat Out to Help Out scheme was running. Under the scheme, diners got a state-backed 50% discount on meals up to £10 each on Mondays, Tuesdays and Wednesdays. There we go. Manipulation, largesse. In America, House panel votes to hold ex-Trump aide in contempt. And now it'll go to the full House. FBI searches US homes linked to Russian oligarch. That's hit quite a lot of our news today. And talking about news, let's look at the economic side of things. Dollar index up, 93.82. It will hit 94 very soon, again. Energy prices marginally down, but really reflecting the rise in the dollar, still ensconced in the $80+ range. Equity markets actually rising quite considerably, up 0.5 to 0.75% in the US yesterday. In Asia Pacific, broadly up as well, with the Hang Seng really outshining it, up 1.35%, although it has been hit badly in recent weeks, months, and even a year. And the European markets, mixed bag. Euro up 0.02%, DAX up 0.1%, CAC down 0.1%, and the FTSE almost down 0.1%. Economic news. We saw on Monday that industrial production was down. That really gave gold and silver, in our view, quite a fillip. Today, building permits and housing starts were actually lower than expectations and lower in September than they were in August. Slightly disappointing, quite frankly. And today we have the Beige Book, but a lot of Fed presidents are actually speaking on subjects such as diversity, unemployment, economic outlook, racism and wealth. And then tomorrow we have the jobless reports, which are quite important. Gold up 31 cents over the last 24 hours. Obviously rising from its dip earlier today, where it was down to 1767. It's now at 1779, having hit a high of 1785. If we just compare that quickly with the opening, or rather Friday's close, therefore technically Monday's opening, we can see gold was 1767. So we are up $11. Silver up 21 cents. It's done really well. It did actually go above $24 today, but has fallen back a little. So it's up 21 cents at $23.94. And when we compare that with Friday's close, it was at $23.32. So it's up 59, if my maths is correct, 59 cents. Cryptocurrencies. We've hit the 2.5 trillion market cap. We said by the end of the month, we were far too pessimistic. And of course, Bitcoin now over $64,000. That's it for now. What's going to happen today? It's all political, geopolitical. We don't really see much in the economic data affecting gold and silver prices, though we can see there's a reasonable support level now for gold and silver at the moment. Everyone is really waiting for the 3rd of November when the FOMC announces whether it's tapering or not. It's quite possible the dollar will take a slight hit if the UK becomes even more hawkish on raising rates. thereby technically hitting the dollar slightly. But we see that 94 index as the basis for the US dollar for some time to come. Thank you for listening. Please give us a thumbs up, subscribe, press the bell sign. Until tomorrow. Illuminati silver owners come from a background of banking, international wealth management and economics. Having now retired from these worlds, we are not qualified to give investment advice. Therefore, this and other productions must not be deemed to be giving such advice and merely represent the personal views of its owners.